poked away, picked up by Andre from
three-quarters, and he hit it! He had his eyes on the prize and let it fly!
What's going on, all you Tanimals? It is another edition of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasted live exclusively every Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. And with me, as always, the co-host to the stars, the man, the myth, the legend, that I would not be trading for another co-host or not even entertaining trade talks to make him want to leave town, Jackson Law. J Law, how the hell are you?
Good that you think more highly of me than what the Browns did for Baker Mayfield. So
Man, the Browns had
that was a low bar to clear, though. So
there was, yeah, that's true. But I mean, there was absolutely zero love for Baker Aloysius Mayfield.
Oh, absolutely none.
I mean, wow, you want to talk about a dude that is just like dissed. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on with we're going to talk a lot of NFL, what's going on in free agency. Getting kind of annoyed here because I was trying to pull up something else, and apparently for whatever reason, my Facebook is doing something different. Oh, well, it is what it is.
It's probably the Russians hacking us. You know, they're
wouldn't
threatening us
surprise
with
me.
cyber attacks. Grid's going to go down, you know.
See, they need to chill the hell out because what I'm understanding, man, freaking Anonymous is like whooping their ass. So
listen, they got the Ukrainian people to worry about first and foremost.
Yeah, the Ukrainian
than anything else right now. They are.
Dude, they got the Klitschko brothers out there. Like, they better chill the hell out. If was it? I know it's one of the Klitschkos. I think it's Vladimir. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if Vladimir Klitschko is out there, I think you might want to chill the hell out for real because he don't play. And that's a dude that he knows what the hell he's doing. So, but we're not going to get into the politics, even though if we could live in a world that didn't have politics and politicians, it would be a whole hell of a lot better. You know that old joke that what's 10,000 lawyers chained up at the bottom of the ocean? A good start. What's 1,000 lawyers? What's 1,000 politicians? Yeah, a very good start. Matter of fact, that'll cure a lot of the issues. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk sports. So let's get right into it. The hotbed, the among the hottest of news, of sports news in the last 4 or 5 days, and probably the hottest news in Cleveland since LeBron James coming back, and the hottest news for the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson waived his no trade clause with the Texans. And now, granted, Cleveland had been told the day prior, you're out of the Deshaun Watson business. Deshaun isn't interested in going to Cleveland. But, and a lot of reports came out that because they alienated Baker Mayfield, and I want to get your opinion on the whole Baker Mayfield end of this. But because of the alienation of Baker Mayfield, the Browns went all in the Deshaun Watson business. 5 years, $230 million guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. And then his base salary for this season, $1 million. Now that feels like a real slap in the face right there. I want to get into the nit and the grit of this. And this is another one of those instances. Now, Josh Taylor was going to be on with us last week, but he had some computer trouble, so it was just us and Trey. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish we had someone else to talk to about this, but that's all well and good. Let me give you the details of the trade first and foremost. just in case you missed it, which if you follow sports, why would you? So the Browns are getting Watson and a 2024 sixth round draft pick. It was going to be a fifth rounder, but now it's a sixth rounder.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans are getting this year's number 13 overall pick in the first round. And then next year's first round pick and 2024's first round pick. And then this year, fourth round pick, a third round pick in 2023, and then a fourth round pick in 2024. So basically the Texans are getting 6 draft picks.
They're getting a haul. And this is the second time, I believe it's the second time that 3 first round picks have been traded for a single player. You know what the first time was?
Who's that?
Herschel Walker.
Wow.
Only other I want to say that Deshaun Watson and Herschel Walker are the only 2 players in the NFL to be traded for 3 first round picks.
That is crazy.
Because that, when you think about it, that is insane to give up for a single player.
Yeah,
like even solidified Hall of Famer, someone like Russell Wilson, who still has maybe 7 years left in the tank, a lot of time. And Denver could potentially win multiple again, this is just all speculation, but Denver has the potential now, because we were always talking about it all season long. They're just a quarterback away. I kept saying they were a Russell Wilson away from competing for a Super Bowl. Now they are Russell Wilson. They have Russell Wilson.
Have Russell Wilson.
Now they have Russell Wilson. So, in which obviously they gave up players plus draft capital. The Browns are only giving draft capital, which is also insane. The fact that they're keeping all of their core players, they're keeping everyone on defense, they've kept everyone on the offensive line except for their center. Was it JC Treader, I think is his name?
Yes.
That they released because he's the NFLPA. He's like the main representative for the players to the Players Association or something along that line. But this is just an insane trade, and that division now, the AFC North, is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be like the AFC North and the AFC West are going to be the 2 greatest divisional showdowns like ever. Like every week that there's a divisional matchup between an AFC West or an AFC North opponent, that is must-watch TV.
You've replaced the NFC West as the quintessential and most difficult division. It is now the AFC West and the AFC North. You've also got your primary marquee quarterbacks now in the AFC. I mean, the NFC still has Tom Brady. You still have Aaron Rodgers, an aging Tom Brady, and aging Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, what other big name quarterbacks are there in the NFC right now besides them? Justin Fields, he's not there yet.
No, you could maybe mention Kyler Murray.
Calamari, yeah. Matt Stafford, being that he's a Super Bowl winner. So that's 4 right there. Because Kirk Cousins is
What are the teams in the NFL? I'm forgetting all of a sudden who all's in the NFC.
Well, because here's the thing. You look at the NFC East, there's no real top-tier quarterback there. Carson Wentz, are you willing to call Carson Wentz a top-tier quarterback? I'm not.
No. Ask Carl Heiser. Shout out Carl Heiser.
So you've got in the NFC East, you've got
some people would have Dak up there. I personally don't. So
Dak got the money of a super top tier quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently a reason why Amari Cooper was traded was because him and Dak Prescott couldn't get along. Now I'm saying I don't know if this is true or not because I saw one news station reported, or news station, like news website, on Twitter or something. But then it's like, this just sounds like something. If you don't know what Ballsack Sports is on Twitter, they're a parody account that spreads sports misinformation. And like when a legitimate, website like Fox News one time used their tweet for a story that they ran, and it was some BS bogus story about LeBron or something.
Wow.
And it's called getting sacked is what it is. So this sounds like this. So take this with a grain of salt. Always do your own research, even if it's just for something, in the grand scheme of things, like, meaningless like sports is. Like there was like apparently Amari Cooper called Dak Prescott the Black Kirk Cousins, and Dak didn't like that.
Oh, damn. Dude, those are fighting words, man.
Those are.
If I'm
Those-
a quarterback, you don't ever refer to, you know what? You don't refer to me as Kirk Cousins. You don't refer to me as Colt McCoy. You don't refer to me as Jim Miller or Tim Couch. You don't even refer to me as Seneca Wallace, dude. Come on. That's messed up. No, if I'm Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper calls me the Black Kirk Cousins, I'm like, yeah, get him off my team, dude. Get done. You know what? Contract over.
Yeah, which for if you are a fantasy player, at least if you're like a legacy fantasy player where you have players that you draft and you keep them for a number of years, Amari Cooper, we thought his value as a fantasy target went down because he was with Baker and the Browns, but now it seems to have potentially shot back up because now he's got Deshaun Watson as his quarterback.
Now, here's my thing. A lot of people are now ready to re-anoint the Browns yet again. This is the same dumpster fire organization. Now, they stood by Baker Mayfield. Now, am I the biggest Baker Mayfield fan? No, not really. I'm really not. And look, I don't blame Baker Mayfield for being pissed. Like, when you're openly touting, like, we don't know what's been said behind the scenes, but we do know that the Browns had said repeatedly that Baker Mayfield is their guy. This is the guy that's going to lead their team, blah, 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 blah. This guy played hurt all last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him for being pissed off. And when the Browns are openly touting Deshaun Watson and even putting notes out there saying that they want a grown man to lead their organization, it's like, dude.
Which is interesting to say about what he's going through off the field.
Right. And that was going to be my next point, dude. Grown-ass men don't have 22 women accusing him of sexual assault. And I've seen on Twitter, I've seen I love how Cleveland Browns Twitter, all last year, they are all like Dr. James Andrews. They're all these top flight surgeons talking about Baker Mayfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they've all traded in their medical licenses for a law license. So now they've passed the bar.
Well, it's not just that, but it's in the sense that who was another quarterback in their division, a division rival that had a similar situation, not as high, like
nowhere near as many. He had two instances.
Exactly. And how many times, like even in Big Ben's last year, where they talk about how could you support a guy that does something like that? Well, now you've got that guy, and I've seen some Browns fans like basically turning in their fan cards, like,
yeah,
you know, and they're like, you know, I'm open to other fan bases, and you have other fan bases that are just like, just take a step back and enjoy football. You'll love it much more if you're not heavily involved with a favorite team. You can't be let down if you just enjoy the sport.
Yeah, I've seen that too. A lot of folks are saying, you know, I'm done with the Browns and blah, blah, blah. The Haslams actually released this big old statement saying how, you know, they did their due diligence in this situation. Meanwhile, the lawyer that's representing the women against Deshaun Watson, they're going after him civilly.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, the Browns have not reached out to me at all. So
yeah, and that's
how much due diligence did you put into this?
And that's the thing that like Browns fans that are trying to defend this situation have to realize. Just because he was not convicted in criminal court doesn't mean that there isn't truth behind what these women are saying.
Just because the district attorney met with the grand jury and they decided not to indict him to pursue criminal charges, that does not mean he is innocent.
Yeah, it just meant that the facts presented
there isn't enough evidence at this time. Here's the thing. Some new evidence could come up tomorrow, next month, next year. And guess what? He's going through it all over again. Why? Because he has not been on trial. Now, if you go on trial and you're acquitted,
then you can't. Then if there's new evidence, then it's over. Yeah.
Then it's over. That is called double jeopardy. So if they try to come out and say, hey, there's new evidence in the O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson murder case, and we have without a shadow of a doubt that O.J. Simpson did it, they can't do anything because he was already acquitted.
Mhm.
That is double jeopardy. That is illegal. It is a violation of constitutional rights. You can't do that. However, being that they refused to indict at this time, yeah, Deshaun Watson ain't scot-free. Deshaun Watson's going to have to keep his nose clean for at minimum 7+ years.
Yeah. And
because that's the statute of limitations on
and he would have to settle individually with all 22 accusers that filed civil suits to go to civil court. He's going to have to settle with every single one of them and make them sign a non-disclosure agreement, basically saying that I'm gonna pay you this money and that's the end of it.
Yep.
We're done. And even then, again, I'm not a law expert, so I don't know if a third party was to come across video evidence of an incident, and then that he could be indicted on that, even with settling. I'm not 100% sure on that. Again, I'm not a law expert, unlike Browns fans that are all law experts.
Yeah, apparently every Browns fan now is like I said.
Everyone knows that Cleveland is renowned for its world-class law firms. So.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Cleveland has the largest per capita of LSAT graduates, and
it's like 1 in 3.
Yeah, pretty much
something insane like that.
Yeah, but these are also the same people, as we already said, that sat there and anytime Ben Roethlisberger did anything, yeah, he's a rapist.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what really, really gets me. Once again, going back to Baker Mayfield, is he is in the worst position now because the Browns have zero leverage. Like, if the Browns go to talk to anyone, they can just say, yeah, I'll give you a 7th round pick. I'll give you a 7th round pick and the towel boy. And so, like, honestly, if you're the Browns, don't you have to cut Baker? Don't you have to cut him?
I don't know what's going to happen with Baker. I honestly don't. I think he's, what is it? Is this next year? Is this the year that his 5th year option kicks in? Or is this his 4th year?
I think this is his 4th year.
Because that kind of depends on a lot of things. I wouldn't imagine.
He's the number 1 overall pick in 2018. So I do believe that this is year 4. So next year would be the 5th year option.
Well, I mean, either way,
so this is
whatever
year 4.
happens, I out of all of free agency, Baker Mayfield's the biggest loser out of everybody, because not only did he think that he was secure in his spot, but he actually wasn't, and he got blindsided by it, which makes me appreciate Tua even more, because he went out and did what he did last season.
He balled out, dude,
with all of this swirling around and getting asked like post game. All the questions directed towards him were, how do you feel about the Deshaun Watson thing?
And he
the rumors, the trade rumors, how is that affecting you? And he just had to put a smile on his face. You could tell it was getting to him, but he soldiered out there and he just didn't let it affect him. So I have a lot more respect for Tua.
Yeah, now, but I think at the same token, though, if I'm Baker Mayfield,
I don't blame Baker for acting the way he did.
No, this is the ultimate. Now, I heard someone say this is the Chappelle Show equivalent of when keeping it real goes wrong. Or in this case, betting on yourself goes wrong. But I'll tell you the truth. Like, in the NFL, you got to be cocky. You've got to.
No, he's got the swagger. He just needs to be a better quarterback.
But is it him as a passer, or is it the team around him?
I think Stefanski is a pretty good coach. I mean, obviously we'll see, now there's no more excuses for the Browns. We'll see if they brown it up like they normally do, but
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
There's really no excuses. And again, I call Baker the biggest loser because where does he go? Where can he go?
Well, he wanted to go to Indianapolis, but now that
they traded for Carson Wentz. This is all the movement that's happened. Not Carson Wentz. They traded for Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan is now the starting quarterback of the Colts. So he has nowhere unless he gets cut. Now, granted, if I'm Seattle,
That's the only.
I kick the tires.
Seattle is the only place that I could think of, because everywhere else that needed a quarterback has got a quarterback. So let's throw out, like, Cleveland. They got Deshaun, so he's got to go somewhere else. Denver got Wilson. Wentz went to Washington.
Commanders. Yep.
Matt Ryan to the Colts. Matty Ice, Mitch Trubisky, the first ever Nickelodeon MVP. He is with your Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Marcus Mariota going to the Falcons. I was thinking earlier that day that the Falcons it was like the Falcons and the Seahawks were the two leading contenders. Like, he could go there, and they decided to sign Marcus Mariota. So it's like, okay, so it's really got to be the Eagles, and not the Eagles, the Seahawks.
Yeah, because they love Jordan Love there in it's Jordan Love, right? In Philly.
It's Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. For whatever reason, I keep getting Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts confused.
The only other places that I could think of would be New York, potentially, if things aren't working out there with their the Giants. Giants. Okay. I could see the Panthers potentially.
Yeah, Sam Darnold situation.
Yeah, if they don't believe in Sam Darnold, or the Lions. And those are really his options, because everyone else either anyone else either has their quarterback that they're rocking with, or they have a young quarterback that they are trying to turn into. They don't know what he is yet, and it's too early to give up on him. And I could throw in there also like the Vikings with Kirk Cousins, but they just gave Kirk Cousins a massive extension with more guaranteed money. So they are not moving.
No, you're right. They're not going to move on from Kirk Cousins. No, they're not. They're really not. Now, here's the thing. I'll still throw the I'll still leave the Falcons maybe in there, because you bring in so you bring Baker Mayfield in if you're the Falcons, right? And have him and Mariota battle it out to see who's going to be number one.
My thing is, if I'm Atlanta, though, I don't want to give up any picks for him, or at least anything valuable, because I'm still giving up
at this point. You don't have to at this point. Like I said, anybody, like, seriously, someone can go to. I guarantee you, before the draft, we're going to hear that Cleveland is trading Baker Mayfield, and I guarantee you, the pick is not higher than a 4th round.
I would do like maybe a 4th rounder and a 5th round swap, and that's it.
Maybe. Because the thing is, Cleveland has zero, because here's the thing. Cleveland can sit there and say, well, we're just going to keep him here. All right, that's fine. And then what are you going to do when Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended for at least the first 6 to 8 games.
They went out and signed Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
That's who's going to be their backup.
Yeah, so now you've got Joe. So why would you keep Baker Mayfield? Why? There's no point. Because the thing is, if he comes in and he acts the professional, cool. But that's still going to be lingering over the team. Now, if he's in there and he's just pissed off and he's just doesn't want to be bothered and he's just being a dick, now this is messing with your locker room chemistry. It does not behoove the Browns to keep him at all.
I think what he should do is he should
go to USFL.
There's that. But I was thinking of swallowing his pride for maybe a year and maybe have to back someone up.
I mean, he might have to stay in Cleveland and
maybe he has to. Maybe it's still in Cleveland. Maybe it's somewhere else. But he has veteran experience, and there will be jobs that open up from teams that get high in a draft class that doesn't have a good quarterback class, or a class that maybe they got their quarterback, but he's just not ready yet. Right. And then he'll get a job. He'll get a starting job, potentially, maybe get a starting job, and then could prove himself again, because that's what Mitch Trubisky did. That's what Marcus Mariota has done. And again, like, maybe if I'm Seattle, I take a flyer on him. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You got a bunch of picks for trading Russell Wilson. You got a bunch of players. Go out and get a guy that has experience. You can say that he's got playoff experience now because he's won a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
So
what
let's
does this
see.
also do to Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, I think the shoulder really hurt his trade value.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know about Jimmy G because there's so many moving pieces right now, and then like the quarterback class isn't that great. I feel like coming up, I
No.
could be completely wrong, and like two of
Well,
them could be Hall of Famers. Who knows?
apparently Kenny Pickett really wowed at his draft day, and Malik Willis apparently did a decent job at his draft day as well. But once again, neither one of those two are going to be there at that point. Like, I'm looking at it right now. Here's your top. Here's your first round, and I'm going to go quick. Jacksonville with the first overall pick, Detroit with the second overall pick, Houston with the third overall pick, New York Jets, then New York Giants, then Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, New York Jets, Washington Commanders, Minnesota Vikings, Houston Texans again, Baltimore Ravens, Eagles 15 and 16, Chargers at 17, Saints at 18, Eagles at 19, Steelers at 20, Pats at 21, Packers at 22, Cardinals at 23, Cowboys 24, Bills 25, Titans 26, Buccaneers 27, Green Bay 28, Miami 29, Kansas City 30, Cincinnati 31, and the Lions at 32. So now I'm looking at this mock draft on NFL.com. Okay. And I am not seeing.
And
Now,
I
granted,
guess
this is a mock draft, but
his value, like Baker's value, also depends on like what Seattle and what Carolina want to do with the 9th and 5th pick, respectively. Carolina with the 5th, Seattle with the 9th. Like, what do they do? Because they could easily at that position grab a rookie quarterback and then just call it a day and be like, this is our guy we're going to build around for the future. Or
right.
maybe they take the flyer on Baker and then they draft best player available at that point.
Well, now this latest mock draft on NFL.com, and this one is from today, 3:45 p.m. by Daniel Jeremiah. The only quarterback it looks like that's even been that he has in his first round is Kenny Pickett, and he has Kenny Pickett falling all the way to number 18 to the Saints. Now, there are some. Now, the Texans, of course, they say they're going to build around. Was it Mills? They're going to be building around.
Davis Mills, which would have been a destination, a QB swap potentially. But yeah, they said that they want to build around
guy.
Mills.
Now, these are the teams that I'm thinking could be looking for a quarterback. Detroit could be looking for a quarterback at this point because Jared
Goofball ain't it.
Yeah, he's not your guy. The Giants, even though they say they're going to stick with Daniel Jones, I mean, come on. The guy's been worse than what everyone is saying Mitch Trubisky was.
Who did they sign another quarterback? Free agency.
I'm gonna double check on that as well.
Yeah.
But let me see. Carolina could be looking for a quarterback if they don't believe in Sam Darnold. Atlanta might be looking to pick another quarterback unless they do go wide receiver to make up for Calvin Ridley's suspension.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's picking at 9. They could go for a quarterback there. And then, then you round out your, once you get outside of the top 10, I think the Saints would probably be the only team that would be really, really looking for a quarterback because the Ravens aren't going to move away from Lamar Jackson. Minnesota has Kirk Cousins. The Commanders are probably going to do the wait and see on Carson Wentz. And Jalen Hurts, that seems to be his job there in Philly.
See,
so
I told you to look at
yes,
ask Carl. I told you to ask him.
Carl is right. Carl,
I don't know how long you've been here, but I said at the top of the show, I said ask Carl because we mentioned Wentz, and I asked Carl Heiser how he feels about Wentz.
Now, here's my thing. There's supposed to be 4 quarterbacks that are supposed to be the shining stars of this draft class, right? And I still do not see any of those 4 falling outside of the top 15. I don't see them falling that far. I mean, seriously, the Panthers could take one, the Giants could take one. You may get the Falcons going for one, and Seattle needs one. Bam. Those are the four main guys that you keep hearing about at the top of this draft class for quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it just depends on.
It depends on what everyone's going to be.
Maybe they weren't expecting a veteran quarterback like Baker Mayfield to be available, and maybe they could negotiate like a smaller deal since it's like, hey, stuff didn't work out for you last time. Come here. You got a year to try out, or maybe you extend him. Maybe you give him some guaranteed money, but you spread it out. I'm not 100%. Again, I'm not completely sold, but I'm just trying to think in terms of maybe this is an avenue that someone like a Seattle, Carolina didn't think was available at one point. And now they're like, okay, we can take this quarterback and we can just take the best player available. And if Baker sucks, then our team's going to suck and we're going to have a top 10 pick again. And then we'll just pick a quarterback.
And I think that's what a lot of people, I saw a report earlier on today from SI.com that says that Baker Mayfield might stay in the AFC North and sign with the Steelers. I don't see that happening. I really don't. I don't see the Steelers giving up any draft capital for Baker Mayfield, especially if they feel that they've got their guy Mitch Trubisky. If they feel that they have their guy, they're not going to go for Baker. And if I'm the Browns, I actually send Baker into the NFC, if I'm honest. I send Baker to the NFC. Because here's the thing. If Baker starts to flourish, then this is just another instance. And if Baker flourishes and Deshaun bombs, how stupid do they look? Because here's the thing, and I think I said something like this on Twitter, and I'm gonna get your thoughts on this before we take our break. I said that Baker Mayfield may have single-handedly destroyed the Browns organization. I was actually thinking about writing an article, like just writing my thoughts on it, but I just didn't have a chance. But here's the thing. So the Browns decide to start kicking tires and like, we might be able to do something to get this guy. And now it gets to your franchise quarterback. And it's that meme of the guy walking with his girlfriend and then he turns and looks to the other. You know what I mean? And then you get told, yeah, you're out of the running. And it's like, hey, man, you understand it's just business. We had to kick the tires. And Baker's like, nah, F you, dude. Like, I played hurt for you all year. And this is how you do me. You can go to hell. And so then they decide, well, we're going to go right back to Deshaun Watson and we're going to get him. And we got him. And we gave up the next 3 years of draft picks. We have given up a ton. You do not have a first round pick until 2025 now. So what if Deshaun Watson, he comes in, right? And then he's on the commissioner's exempt list or whatever. And then what if some new information comes up and he gets indicted and this time they decide to pursue criminal charges?
Well,
and then
I hope the Browns are good with the Jacoby Brissett then, if that's the case.
Yeah. And now here's the thing. And there is no rebuilding because now, well, yeah, you can rebuild, but guess what? To start getting draft capital back, you've got to get rid of Myles Garrett, Greedy Williams. You got to get rid of these core pieces of your team to even start to get draft capital back. So the Browns going all in the way they did with the money that they did. Number one, I hope you got all your guys locked down to long-term deals because you're not going to have a ton of cap space at all. And I said this when Patrick Mahomes signed his deal. I hope you got all your role players at a decent price for a while because now your salary cap is done. This guy's making $230 million 5 years. That's, I'm no mathematician, but that's over $50 million a year, right?
Yeah, maybe there's probably some weird way that they can
That's just under 50 a year.
Listen, the cap doesn't exist. They'll do something like if they need to clear cap space, they'll just like, all right, we're gonna convert this amount into just a signing bonus, and then we'll extend you and spread the money out. It'll be fine.
The problem is though is that you start doing that, there might be ways to go around it and blah blah blah, but you're still not going to be able to do it enough that you're going to be able to. Well, the thing is, if it's all guaranteed money, then I don't know. I just really feel like the Browns, they really went all in. They mortgaged everything. If they don't win in the next 2 years, this is a failure. And the fact of the matter is, if something happens where Deshaun Watson actually goes back in front of the grand jury and gets indicted and is convicted or gets hurt,
then
the Browns as an organization, you know what? You better just pack up and move.
There will come at some point a suspension. There has to be a suspension at some point.
At minimum 6 to 8 games. And if he appeals, it'll probably go down. If you look at what they did with Ben Roethlisberger, he had a 6-game suspension and then he appealed it down to 4. But that was only for 2 count. That was only for that was for 2 separate incidents. This is 22.
But
period.
God forbid that you bet on an NFL game when you're on injured reserve and you're away from the team in a completely different state using an app that millions of people use that that the people you work for push constantly. God forbid you do that, because if you are, then you're the lowest scum of the earth and you deserve nothing but an indefinite suspension without room for appeal for at least a year. Have no room in football for those guys. You could, punch or inappropriately touch a woman all you want. You get less than a quarter of a season.
Yeah. Well, you look at it and, a lot of people are trying to say, like some people tried to throw Kareem Hunt's name. Well, you guys are okay with Kareem Hunt. I'm sorry, Kareem Hunt's situation is way different. Way different.
Appreciate that, Trey.
Yeah, Jackson. Look at that. Look at you. Just styling and profiling of him. I'm gonna start calling you Ric Flair.
It's comfy, man.
Come on, you need to start wooing and start like dropping knee drops.
I can't do that, man. I got a bad knee. I went hooping on Sunday and that hurt.
Damn. Thing is though, and I'll say this though, the Browns are going to find a way to screw this up. That's what the Browns do. Like, it wouldn't even shock me if the first play of the first game that Deshaun Watson plays in and he goes down with a hamstring or a knee. Yeah, yeah. That's why. Yeah, I understand that part of it, Carl. That's why he's only making $1 million this year. That's also going to be, so basically he's only going to lose about $50,000 or something if he, when his suspension comes. So yeah, the Browns did do that structure and everything, but the thing is, I'm talking long term. If he goes to jail, if he actually ends up getting prison time, that money is guaranteed though. They still got to pay. Like they can probably, I don't know. I'm sure there might be a way around it. Either way.
I'm sure there's got to be a way around that for protect. There's no way that the owners would agree to that.
You don't know what they might do.
They're desperate to win.
They're desperate to win.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And now they've got Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson, and people are crowning them the Super Bowl champs again, just like they did last year. And it's like, you know what? Slow down. This is still the Browns. Juju Smith-Schuster said it best. It's still the Browns. But it's time to take a break. We'll be back here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We're broadcasting live here on the Vendetta Sports Media Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. We join you live every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right back.
The following broadcast is brought to you in association by XP Coffee Company. XP Coffee Company is the fresh brewed coffee made for gamers by gamers. Get amazing flavors like Choco Loco in 8, 12, or 16-ounce bags. Or level up and get Illusion, Isolation, Nightmare, or the Majestic Throne blends in light, medium, or dark roast in whole bean, coarse French press, drip, or fine espresso in 12-ounce, 16-ounce, or 2-pound bags. Wow! Shipping worldwide. If you're in the U.S., go to usa.xpcoffee.co. If you're in Europe or in the UK, go to www.xpcoffee.co. XP Coffee Company. For gamers, by gamers.
All right, we're back, and I
love the comment.
That Watson
a longest yard with Deshaun Watson, Henry Ruggs.
Dude, I would actually spend money on that. I would spend money to watch that. I'll tell you what, though. The big winner of free agency, other than I'm not even willing to say that the Browns are a big winner in free agency right now because of everything that's going on with Deshaun Watson off the field. Dude, the Raiders, they won a lot this offseason.
Raiders have had a good offseason. They had to. They saw what was going on. They saw the arms race that was happening in their division. And they're like, we got to go get some nukes ourselves. Some sort of deterrent.
Absolutely. And these first these first couple of days of free agency went nuts. Now we're starting to get sort of the smaller things right now. Well, not so much small, but the Vikings picked up Zadarius Smith, signed him to a 3-year deal. Mike White signed his tender, so good job, Jets. Leonard Fournette's going back to the Buccaneers.
Makes sense.
Honestly, I'll tell you the truth. This free agency period has been the most exciting that I've experienced.
It's been crazy. It just goes to show like how dominant the NFL is, even when it comes to free agency, because we got the NBA coming up. We have March Madness going on right now. And in the middle of March Madness, Deshaun Watson is traded, and Twitter is melting down about the Watson trade while March Madness is active.
Following and more about him.
I've been
March
watching
Madness.
so much college football over the past weekend. It's been amazing, super fun.
You mean college basketball? You said college football.
College basketball, excuse me. Yeah,
but
it's been a long Tuesday.
No, I can understand that. Matt Stafford signed a 4-year, $160 million extension to remain in place as the franchise guy there in LA.
He's won a Super Bowl. That's their guy.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster signed a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Chiefs. Now, there's a lot of drama in on that, though, too. Dude, Juju's mama said...
Yeah, Juju's mama was getting involved.
She was like, we wanted to stay in Pittsburgh, but they didn't want us. And it's like, well, for one, us, they wanted Juju. Not you. Like, does this mean, though, that maybe Juju's mom was getting more in on stuff than Coach Tomlin would have appreciated? Or do you think that, because even Juju said he wanted to stay here in Pittsburgh, do you think, though, that Tomlin and the rest of the organization are just getting tired of the TikTok videos and because, and why is that even a problem?
I don't know. Maybe it's just not the Steelers' way. I don't know.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that there's not enough production on the field. Because you figure that rookie year, he had Antonio Brown on the other side. And he was playing tough guy football. I mean, he laid out Vontaze Burfict, which is still such a beautiful sight to see. Like, I could watch that all day.
I'm not a Steelers fan, but I'm definitely not a Vontaze Burfict fan.
But then I think that once AB left, there's no one's taking the heat off of Juju. Deontay Johnson starts to show out a bit, but he's not taking any looks away from Juju. Chase Claypool, who's not even allowed to have a nickname anymore on this show, he's not really doing enough to take anything off of Juju. So Juju is making like the tough catches for the tough yards, but he's not really setting the world on fire. So for a guy who's mainly putting up third receiver numbers, maybe they didn't feel that just under $11 million a year was enough.
And I know we just got done talking about Baker, but I just saw like during the break that he was trending on Twitter. So I was like starting to scroll and I see this from Bleacher Report. The Panthers are not interested in Baker Mayfield. So take the Panthers out. So
Poor Baker.
it's got to be the Seahawks,
Poor
maybe the
Baker.
Giants. I don't know. His
Damn,
options are extremely limited.
I feel really, really bad for Baker Mayfield. I really, truly do.
It's just
Because
again, it's just all this
I
Deshaun.
could just
This
come
trade
out-
happened way later in this QB movement cycle where everyone has already invested money or picks in other quarterbacks, and so they're just like,
it's just crazy to me how they're just coming right out and saying, you know what? No, we're not interested. We're just not interested in you, my dude. Like, wow. And then they're just going on record by saying, yeah, I'm not interested in you. That's just crazy. Poor guy. I feel so bad for Baker. I really do. I mean, I do, but then at the other hand, I think it's kind of funny. Here, I'm looking at this now. So Joseph Salvador 7 hours ago basically said that he believes that the Steelers would pounce on the opportunity to sign Baker Mayfield if he was cut. Now, this would be the second time in 5 to 6 years that the Browns got rid of a talented player of their team. The Steelers picked him up. You know who the first guy was? Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden, okay.
Who the Steelers just let go in free agency. Joe Hayden is not coming back to Pittsburgh. What do you think would happen, though, if Baker Mayfield got signed by the Steelers? Now you've got a quarterback competition between Baker Mayfield and Mitch Trubisky.
Ugh. If I was a Steelers fan, I'd be like, I wish I didn't.
Here's my thing. And this is kind of what I want to say in defense of Mitch Trubisky. Okay? I'm going to try to defend Mitchy boy. The guy was picked. I still think that the hate that comes on him is more from where he picked and because he was picked ahead of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I think that he would have done better off being drafted in the second or third round, sit behind an established NFL starter for a couple of years to learn what he needed to learn because he didn't play that many snaps. But this is what we got. This is where we are. And, but I seriously think that maybe that time of sitting behind Josh Allen, I think it might do him some good. I mean, I do. I want to believe that. I want to believe that.
I know our boy Josh Taylor's always, raving about Matt Canada and his offense. So
yeah, hey, if it wasn't for Matt Canada, Peterson ain't in the NFL.
And listen, I'm not saying that Trubisky's going to lead the Steelers to the promised land. I'm just saying that I think he is comparable, if not slightly better, than what Ben Roethlisberger could have been last year. And you still won 8-9 games with Big Ben.
Yeah, won 9 games with Big Ben
with a noodle arm.
Yeah. Now, if you're a Giants fan, do you want the Giants to start kicking the tires on Baker?
I do believe Baker is better than Daniel Jones, so yes.
I think so too. I seriously think. Now, do you think Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Eli Manning?
That's tough. Eli won 2 Super Bowls.
I'm not asking about Super Bowl pedigree. I'm asking, do you think he's a better player? Do you think that Baker Mayfield brings better arm strength, better accuracy? Do you think if you had to build a team right now, Baker Mayfield in his prime or Eli Manning in his prime, who is your starting quarterback? Those are the only quarterbacks you can pick from.
I'd probably have to go Eli just because Eli did have some years where he was playing like a top tier quarterback.
See me?
So give me a couple of those years of Eli.
You know what I do? I take Julian Edelman as my wide receiver and convert him to a quarterback. Because I would honestly rather have Julian Edelman go back to quarterback than to have Eli Manning.
You said I had to choose between the two of them.
Yeah, I did. So but I asked the question, so I can move the goalposts if I want. But no, if I had to choose only between Eli and Baker, honestly, I'm flipping a coin because I've never been an Eli fan. Never been an Eli fan. Ever. And Baker has too many unknowns because, look, he's on the Browns. The Browns may have a better record than the Detroit Lions, but the Browns are as big of a joke as an organization as the Detroit Lions are. You know, ever since the Browns came back into the league, that's all they've been is just a joke. They've been trash. An absolute dumpster fire. And every year they think that they're going to do something, and what do? They find a way to blow it. A year ago today, Browns fans were insufferable because they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and they're like, oh, now we're going to do something. Then they get their doors rocked off the hinges in the playoffs. And it's like, yeah, but we beat the Steelers, and we're going to do things. Yeah. Came to this season, what did they do? Nothing. Didn't make the playoffs. Steelers limped. The Steelers didn't even limp into the playoffs, okay? They dragged themselves in a wheelchair. And not even a cool rascal motorized wheelchair. I'm talking one of those old-ass wheelchairs where the wheels don't barely move and you have to have Hulk Hogan arms to get that bitch to go. All right? You grew up in the country. You know the bike that's in the shed that's rusty as all hell, and that poor ass kid, that's the only thing that kid has to ride, and he's riding that thing happily, even though it looks like he needs a tetanus shot just from looking at it.
They go up and down my street all the time.
That's the kind of wheelchair that the Steelers rode into the playoffs on the arm of Ben Roethlisberger, and the Browns couldn't even get that close. So yeah, I still think that there a lot can be said about Baker Mayfield and what he can do in this NFL. I mean, hey, maybe he is just a taller version of Johnny Manziel, and he's going to be in the CFL or the XFL or the USFL or whatever FL that there is going to be later on. Maybe the AFL. Who knows? But I forget where I was going with that. Who knows? Dude, Baker might end up proving that he can do something somewhere, just like maybe Marcus Mariota can prove in Atlanta that he can do something. Maybe Mitch Trubisky can prove he's about something. If he's not, if not, then okay. Jim Haslam was, by a football management perspective, right, but in a, shall we say, ethics, he's a piece of crap. Because I'm sorry, if I'm running an NFL team and I get a call from Deshaun Watson's people, I say thanks but no thanks. Period. And if the Steelers would have signed and if the Steelers would have traded for Deshaun Watson, I would have turned in my Steelers card.
Yeah, I don't think I could have really, in good conscience, root for Miami if they had pulled the trigger on Deshaun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nothing against his talent as a player. It's what his charges are. I mean,
I don't mean to interrupt. I know we haven't talked about like really too much of anything, but this is like literally the biggest thing that happened in the NFL this past week.
Please.
Was this that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you the truth, man. This whole thing with Deshaun Watson, I mean, doesn't it just show you just how morally bankrupt this league is? Like, why are we putting time and money into this NFL product when they've just got no real, like, it's all so dollar signs that there's just no penchant of right and wrong. It's just, what can you do for my team? Can you get me the most money? It's just sickening. It's just absolutely sickening. And then you had Warren Moon come out a couple of days ago and say that Colin Kaepernick's never going to be in the league again because the NFL just doesn't want to deal with him.
Oh, I did hear that Seattle. I think Seattle and Kaepernick have been in contact.
Man, Pete Carroll says so much crap.
Imagine if that was to happen, though. Like, let's say hypothetically Kaepernick does go to Seattle, then it's like the options are pretty much not there. The
Dude.
options are the Giants. Like if the report is true, like I saw another thing where Ian Rappaport thinks it's going to be Seattle or Carolina. So Ian Rappaport is saying that it could be Carolina, but there's another report that's saying it's not Carolina. So let's say Carolina's out of it, and let's say the Seahawks go the Colin Kaepernick route, then it's like it's Giants or
It's either
bust.
Giants or nobody. It's either Giants or the USFL.
Yep.
Or the CFL. Which even still, it's pretty funny to me. Like, you want to talk about a guy, like, this could be betting on yourself going wrong. It really could
I
be.
think it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how loyal you are to a franchise.
There's no such thing as loyalty.
Depending on the franchise, there's definitely no loyalty.
There is no such
loyalty
thing
there.
as loyalty in business or in sports. Like, case in point, I guarantee you, Jackson Law, if you drop dead at this very nanosecond, your job would have your ass replaced within a week.
Yeah.
Within a week. And then you'd be lucky.
You'd have a new host in a week, a new co-host.
Nah, I'd take time to grieve.
I'm
not that much of a dick.
I appreciate that.
I might,
at least give me a month.
You know what I'd probably do? I'd just probably have like rotating co-hosts. Like I would never just have a co-host. Mm-hmm. It would just be rotating. Like there would never be a permanent co-host. It would all just be constantly rotating. But no, man, it's just good. Well, but especially in sports, and it's really upsetting because what these NFL players do to their bodies. I think it was Leonard Little. His wife was just on Roland Martin Unfiltered. I think it was Leonard Little. This guy is having a lot of issues as a retired, maybe not Leonard Little, I can't remember. But he's having a lot of physical issues right now. But because he's a retired player, he's not getting the benefits that he should be getting. And it just goes to show, these guys, they put their bodies on the line. And I mean, their bodies are just being absolutely destroyed. And by the time they walk away from the game, they can't move.
Yeah, which is why I feel like even if it's the contracts look smaller on paper, the next NFL CBA negotiation, you need to fight for fully guaranteed contracts. And again, they don't have to be like these extravagant, like 3-year, $50 million deals, unless that is what is the going rate for the player and that is negotiated between the two sides, obviously. But you see these deals where it's like Kyle Van Noy is one, and this happened with Miami. He signed like a massive like 3-year deal, and after the first deal and after the first year, he was cut and he lost like $40-50 million.
Right.
He still made millions, but not as many millions.
Yeah, he didn't make anywhere near as many millions. Now, what's crazy to me though is, all these, I hate hearing fans talk about, oh, well, you got to have loyalty to your franchise. No, you don't. Franchise ain't loyal to you. And damn sure the fan bases aren't loyal to these players. The instant that someone has a bad game, fan bases turn quick. Mm-hmm. Really quick. So it's like, no, man. Some of these guys that are retiring in their early to mid-20s, they play through their rookie contract. They get that one big contract. They play through it for a couple of years, and they say, all right, I'm retired. They're smart. Like, that's super intelligent. Andrew Luck, hey, I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him at all, because, dude, this game will kill you.
Yeah, he walked away with his millions and with his mind and his body semi-intact.
Semi-intact, yeah, because that poor dude's body got destroyed.
Which is a blessing to walk away semi-intact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the whole thing with Baker Mayfield pivoting back, I've had shoulder issues. And even when your shoulder is right, it don't feel right after that first real big injury. And this dude is still throwing footballs and slinging them 40, 50 yards down the field and getting smashed. I still remember that one hit he took last year when the Steelers were playing in Cleveland. He took a good old hit going to the sideline. And it's like, you gonna damn near kill yourself for that organization? Hell no. You know what, man? If I'm Baker Mayfield and I get cut, I try to go to the Steelers anyway. I'm not saying the Steelers should get him. I don't even think I want the Steelers to go for him. But if I'm Baker Mayfield, I go to the Steelers, or I try to go to the
revenge.
Steelers, and I'm like, look, I will do whatever you want. I just want the chance to kill them.
Baker's going to become a Sith Lord.
Seriously. He's just going to show up on the field to play up against the Browns one day wearing all black. It's like, dude, we're wearing our home jerseys. I mean, we're not wearing our home jerseys. We're away. I wear black. Like, and he's just like, every time he throws a football.
The game right before Halloween, he comes dressed as Darth Vader.
Anytime any of the Browns, like Greedy tries to intercept the pass and he gets hit with force lightning.
He's purposefully throwing interceptions to the defense just so that way he can hit him and try to lay him out.
Seriously. Like, it's crazy to me. But, I mean, it is what it is. It just goes to show the, like I said, the insanity that is the business of the NFL, right?
It is insane. And, again, I'll always, for NFL players, you know, it's like it's the most physically demanding sport out of baseball, out of basketball. Not to say that the other ones aren't physically demanding, but there are much heavier set men that could play baseball and have made Hall of Fame careers out of it. Just look at someone like Big Papi. Man.
David Wells.
Yeah. Pablo Sandoval. The man was like 5'10" and 300 pounds, and the man balled out for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that in baseball.
Kung Fu Panda.
Exactly.
That is too funny. Poor guy.
But for the NFL, man, just like the stress on the body that it takes to play that sport and for a long time, which you really can't. There's only a few positions where you can do that. And it's like sometimes they're even outliers. Like what we're seeing from Tom Brady, we've never seen a quarterback play that deep into his career before. You know, you've got receivers like Jerry Rice back in the day played for a really long time. Larry Fitzgerald played for like 20 years almost or something like that. He played for a long time. You just don't see that anymore because it's so demanding. And it's just guys like that are literally just built different when their average is maybe 10 to 12 years at the most, and they start declining by year 9.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's unreal. All right, you know, let's take our final break. I don't know. Do you want to talk? I mean, you want to talk a little bit about your experience with March Madness? I mean, I haven't been watching, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not the expert on college basketball. Honestly, it's been a lot of fun to watch, though.
That's cool. I mean, did Sister Jean's team got stomped already, right?
They got bounced. Yeah, Louisville College. They got bounced. My Hogs are still in it though. Josh and I have been, you know, tweeting each other back and forth on Twitter through pictures of, you know, like, you know, where it's like the Key and Peele thing where he's like, you know, he's just like drenched in sweat and anxious, like anxiety filled tweets because Arkansas has gone down to the wire twice. Now they got to play 1 seed Gonzaga.
Damn.
Oof. That's probably going to be it for him, but heck of a ride.
Yeah, I think from what I understand, the only team that's like really been going to form is like Gonzaga because like everyone else's brackets are just like
Gonzaga was getting their butts kicked by Memphis, and then shockingly there were like I think it was no foul calls in the second half against Gonzaga.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I honestly think that you know, tinfoil hat here. I honestly think that maybe the refs had Gonzaga at least advancing further in their bracket, and if not winning the whole thing. So,
you know what I'm hoping for, and I'm sort of getting mad at myself for following it the way I have. I've been following Honey Badger. I want to see if the Steelers try to pick up Honey Badger.
Hey, I think they should. I said it in a TikTok. I've been doing TikToks recently.
Oh, really? Nice.
For the website. Yeah, just a few things that have. One about Baker the other day. I did one about the Steelers that I thought they were low-key having a really great offseason. And then literally the next day, Deshaun's traded to Cleveland. And it's just like...
I mean, honestly, I think that I'll tell you the truth. Even if you don't eliminate the Mitch Trubisky, signing. The Steelers have had a very, very, very good offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Their signings have been really, really great. I mean, even the Trubisky signing isn't a bad signing. It's not like it's going to put them in salary cap hell.
No.
And if he balls out, great. If he doesn't and he sucks, then guess what? Now you get to pick high next year. This is literally a no-lose situation. But the thing is, they're shoring up the offensive line, which is what I've been barking at them to do, and they're shoring up the defense. So I mean, there's nothing. I see nothing wrong with it. I don't really care. But it's all good. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back for our final segment here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We're broadcasting live here on the Vendetta Sports Media Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. We'll be back for our final segment.
The following is brought to you in partnership by Symbol. Symbol is a new sports marketplace where you can trade shares of professional teams like stocks. You love sports. You interested in fantasy sports without the weekly annoyance of fantasy league upkeep? Then Symbol's the app for you. With Symbol, fantasy sports is going to a whole other level. How it works is simple. You buy Symbol shares for your favorite sim teams on the app. When your sim team wins, you get automatic cash deposits, and you don't lose any money when they lose. That's it. So if you follow trends across football, basketball, and baseball, and you think your team is a sleeper, simply invest in your favorite sim teams on Symbol and watch your virtual portfolio prove you right or wrong. And if you want to get in on the action right away, Vendetta Sports Media's got you covered. Go to symbol.app/Vendetta and use our exclusive promo code Vendetta, and you'll get a $10 bonus when making your first deposit. Symbol, taking fantasy sports to a whole other level.
All right, we're back here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We're broadcasting live here on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. Jackson, I'm strolling through Twitter, and I'm like, dude, Twitter is weird, dude. Like, we've talked about this before, but I mean, Twitter is it's really, really odd to me. There's always something weird over on Twitter.
Oh, always. Twitter is a weird place. Now, I love the new Twitter spaces, like the emphasis on that, because it's been really fun to engage with that. And I would love for Vendetta to get to the point where we could host spaces and like have engagement like that, because that's super fun to do and to be a part of. But good Lord, does it get toxic?
See, and I just don't have patience for toxicity.
Yeah. The great thing is that if you are in control of the space, you can mute and kick people to your desire. But a lot of these, like, I have a lot of fun in Lakers spaces, especially like in the middle part of the season where people thought that they could still win a title and they were losing game after game after game. That was a lot of fun. But the Miami Dolphins ones have been horrific recently at the start of free agency, because we missed on Collins. He's going to the Bengals now. Big time free agents. Like, you see something like Devontae Adams pretty much getting traded for relatively nothing. It really looks like the Raiders won the Devontae Adams trade just because they came out on the other side with Devontae Adams and all first-round picks that they have intact. And we still have Terran Armstead, who isn't signed, but it's like he's probably going to sign with the Dolphins. They're still talking. Nothing's happened yet, and it's like the sky is falling, and we're literally 2 weeks into free agency, I think.
I think what's absolutely hilarious to me is, well, not even so much hilarious, but it's really disgusting because, I get the, this is what's happening. Now, granted, I'm used to looking at Twitter more on my phone than on my computer. Only time I look at it on my computer is when I'm doing the show.
Holy crap. The deal came through.
Oh, yeah?
Schefter. Yeah. Trey just sent it to me.
Nice.
And people were adding me.
All right. So give us the deets, dude.
Let's go. Terran Armstead to the Dolphins. Let's go.
Wow. That's big.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it
for the
right
fact that he's only going to play like 13 games this year because he gets injured all the time. But still, I don't care.
But you know what?
I'm looking for the deal. I'm looking for the deets. What's that tweet?
That offensive line definitely needed that for sure. For sure.
Woo.
A 5-year deal. According to
it's
Adam
gonna be-
Schefter, it's a 5-year deal.
It's going to be some big money. That is going to be so much
That
money.
is
Holy crap.
probably their biggest
He is
signing.
He is going to be the highest paid offensive lineman. I guarantee it. And speaking of spaces, I'm probably going to go hop right into one and listen when we get done here. Hop right into one and see what Dolphins Twitter
I kind of wish the
is going on.
I kind of wish the Steelers would have gone for him, but I guess they're going in opposite.
It's like
honestly, I just want
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what
5
it is.
5 years, $75 million plus incentives, according to that's courtesy of Tom Pelissero, and he's saying that's according to sources.
Oh baby!
Wow!
Sweet.
Dude,
yeah, 5 years. Yeah. 5 years, $75 million.
Bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
That is. I will take that every day that ends with a Y. Right there. That is exactly what Miami needed. And it's like everyone is talking about just how good this guy is. It's everyone, all analysts were saying that this is the type of signing that takes your franchise to another level. That offensive line already is looking better than last season. And there's still offensive linemen that are available out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some cuts that Miami can make when it comes to, I think it's the June 1st is like one of the big cut days where you can cut some certain players and get rid of their cap hits for this year. Then if that's the case, I saw somewhere there Miami could create almost 20 million more in cap space by releasing showed a list of players, and some of them are like, I legitimately don't know who you are, or I know who you are and you suck, get off my team.
He said, I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are, but you're taking up cap. That give it to me so we can get someone good. And we got Terron Armstead. That was the big target that Miami was going after this offseason. Now, but here's the thing though, we still need like a solid right tackle, I feel like, because that's Tua's blind side. The right tackle spot is Tua's blind side.
Right.
But Armstead is fantastic. I'm not complaining.
Now, my thing is this, though.
Slightest.
You move him over to the right tackle spot.
I don't think you do. I think you just keep him at left tackle.
So then now you need to go out and find an equally studly right tackle to protect Tua's blind side. Or, or just tell Tua, hey, why don't you start throwing right-handed?
Just throw right-handed.
Yeah, why don't you just switch hands? Like, you can be ambidextrous, right?
Get a time machine, go back in time and be like, throw with your right hand. Do it now.
But no, I think that's really I'm on Armstead's Twitter, and yeah, he hasn't said anything on here as of yet. He hasn't said anything on his, but I guess he's signing for big money, so he don't have time to tweet.
Oh no, he's in Texas celebrating right now because that's where he was reported he was at today.
Oh yeah,
it was in Texas.
See, I'm very curious to see because a lot of folks. So that's the latest big name to come off the board. Some of the bigger names that are still up there. I mean, was it Honey Badger's still up there?
Honey Badger's still there. You still have Odell out there.
Yeah, Odell Beckham is still there as well. Let me see who top available NFL free agents. Let's see. Who do we still have? Come on, Google. See, I hate that. All right, there we go. All right, so top 101 NFL free agent. But see, that's from 20. All right, so one day ago, there we are. All right, so yeah, Terrell Armstead, he's gone. Okay, so now there's Jadeveon Clowney. When is this from?
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney's still available.
All right, so this is from today. All right, so Zadarius Smith, he did get a deal, correct? He got a deal today, right? Because he's still listed, and this is from today. This is still as of today, March 22nd.
Look it up.
All right, so anyway, so I'll keep going down the list. Odell Beckham is still out there, as you already said.
Yeah, Minnesota got Zadarius Smith.
All right, so Minnesota. All right, so Zadarius Smith is off. So he's still got Clowney, Beckham, Stephon Gilmore, Honey Badger. Bobby Wagner still hasn't been touched. Now, here's the thing, though. 32 years old. That's old man in football years.
It is, but you know what? Valuable
get somewhere.
experience. Give him to me. Give him to me on a cheap deal.
Trey Flowers is still out there. Yeah. Has he been picked up? Because he's still listed on here.
No.
JC Treader is still out there. Julio Jones. They're talking about trying to bring Julio Jones back to Indianapolis. I don't think that should happen.
No.
Melvin Ingram is still out there, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown is still out there. If I don't care who you are and what your needs are, you stay away from Antonio Brown as if he's got leprosy.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 44 million of that contract guaranteed.
Nice.
And it could reach up to 87.5 million with the incentives. I can't remember if you said the number it could get to with incentives.
I just saw I just saw 75 million.
Okay, so it could, like with incentives, it could go up to $87.5 million.
Well, his family's happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Let me see. Rob.
And I'm not going to see a dime of that contract.
Yeah. See, Rob Gronkowski is still out there. Calais Campbell is still out there. I didn't realize he was 36. Holy crap. Derek Barnett's still out there. Melvin Gordon is still out there. I mean, I understand. Now, Melvin Gordon, you want to talk about a guy who had a really fast fall from grace, because I remember hearing the Melvin Gordon's name like all over the place a couple of years ago. No, for the last few years, nothing. Let's see. Anyone else of note? Those are some of the main guys that are still there. Jarvis Landry is still out there. Steven Nelson, T.Y. Hilton, Cole Beasley, Kyle Van Noy. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get slim pickings as an out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm happy. This is a good way to end the show.
That is a very good way to end the show, especially for your adult. I'll tell you the truth, man. I'm very excited because a lot of these teams have gotten a lot better.
Oh, I mean, it's the AFC is insane, and of course, I always have to be a fan of a team that is in divisions that are just absolutely stacked. Like the Grizzlies are in the Western Conference in the NBA. Then I've got Miami in the AFC. It's just it doesn't get any easier out here, but you know what? We roll with the punches. We deal with it the best way we can.
Dude, Cam Newton is still a free agent.
Oh, I forgot about Cam.
I forgot all about Cam Newton too, and I feel
maybe he'll go to the USFL.
USFL maybe with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Andy Dalton, because they're still free agents too. Let me see here. Terrell Edmonds is still a free agent, which that doesn't really surprise me. I mean, I'll tell you the truth, man. The NFL is feeling really, really stacked this offseason. Like, extremely stacked. Like, it's unreal to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, and what's crazy to me, I remember as a kid, right? The NFC was always like the cream of the crop. Like, the NFC always had the best players. And when it came to Super Bowl time, you just knew the NFC teams were going to win. Now, this year, man, the AFC teams are just on point. Like, the AFC is going to be a very, very difficult conference to play against. Like, NFC teams are going to have a rough time this coming year, I think.
Well,
playing in the AFC.
They won't have a rough time getting out of the NFC, but in the Super Bowl, whatever team comes out.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be, we're going to have like 3 teams, and they're going to be the same teams that they always have been. It's going to be the 49ers. It's going to be the Packers, and it's going to be the Rams. Those are going to be the 3 contenders out of the NFC. Those are going to be the 3 favorites.
Oh, no Buccaneers for you
to come out. Oh, Buccaneers. Yeah, I forgot Tom Brady came back. So Buccaneers 4. There's going to be you're going to have the core 4 right there for the NFC, and then literally the AFC. It's just like,
all right, give me some early predictions. Who's in the Super Bowl next year? Give me the earliest of early predictions.
Yes, is what I say.
He said yes. Fair enough. All right,
how about this? That a team from the AFC makes it to the Super Bowl. One team.
How about this? After the draft, I want early Super Bowl predictions.
After the draft, okay.
After the draft. Okay. So are you going to watch USFL this season?
I might. When does it start?
I don't know. Let me see USFL.
You look up USFL week 3 stats. What?
Wait, huh? Already? Oh, April 16th.
Oh, okay.
They're going from April 16th to July 3rd. So, all right. So they're not having.
I might give it a watch. It's spring football. It's football when there's not football on. There's not going to be too much going on. Well, you have the NBA playoffs in April, and baseball's back.
Yeah, that's true. Baseball is back. Oh, have you been paying attention to any baseball so far?
Not really. I'll wait until the season comes.
Tell you one thing, man. O'Neal Cruz, that kid for the shortstop, 6'7" shortstop for the Pirates, man. Dude, this kid can just hit like a lot. Honestly, if I'm the Pirates, I just sign him to play DH because apparently his defense really, really sucks.
Wow. I saw someone on Twitter said the Dolphins got Armstead for less than what the Jaguars paid for Christian Kirk.
Wow.
Christian Kirk.
Is it related to Captain?
I would take Captain over Christian. There is a massive skill gap between the two.
Yeah, and I mean, is there a team that's bungled their free agency as much as the Jaguars have? Because the Jaguars have put a lot of money out there, and like, for what have they really improved? And then they cut Jack.
Yeah, Miles Jack, which was
they cut Miles Jack, which was really shocking. And of course, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, his numbers were down." You're paying on the worst team in football. You're not going to have superstar numbers on the worst team when you're on the worst team in football.
No, that was a great pickup. Which is why, again, they should go for Tyrann Mathieu. There's really no other offensive options, so now you got to double down on defense for the season to try to see if you can do anything.
Right. And I'll tell you the truth, I will always disagree with anyone that says defense doesn't matter. Anytime someone says that, like their argument, I automatically tune it out because defense is among the most important things in sports. If you don't have Aaron Donald,
is who you're talking about.
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Trey. I don't care who it is. Anytime, whether it's Trey or Tom or Steve or Roy, if you sit there and you tell me that defense doesn't matter, I roll my eyes and I ignore everything else that you say after that. Because I'm telling you right now, if Aaron Donald isn't on the Rams defensive line, the Rams don't win that Super Bowl.
So again, the Armstead deal boils down $15 million a year.
That's not
You're
bad.
paying for a top 5 offensive lineman in the NFL.
Hey.
$15 million a year.
He must love Southern Florida.
All pro left tackle, $15 million a year. I think that is part of the pitch. Like, you live in South Florida, my guy.
Yeah.
Miami Beach is right there.
Bro, for real. You want to come to Florida. I'm on the USFL website right now. I'm looking at jerseys and stuff. Dude, none of these jerseys are anything that I like want to spend money on. Except maybe like the Houston Gamblers. Because the Gamblers jerseys are on point. But even like the Maulers, purple and orange, I'm wearing that shit.
Listen. If you're going to call yourself the Gamblers and you're Houston, you're the South, you got to have Kenny Rogers involved in some way.
Yeah.
You got to have a Kenny Rogers night.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this Tampa Bay Bandits jersey looks pretty good. I like the Bandits jersey and I like the Gamblers jersey. So I might like get those because I don't like the Pittsburgh Maulers jersey. It looks like poop. It really like that. I'm sorry, that purple and orange just looks like junk to me. Like I am not a fan. I am not a fan at all. Some of these jerseys, period, I'm not a big fan of. Like the only one I think I like is the Houston one. I think. Hold on. Let me share my screen with you real quick.
Yeah, go for it. I'm still reading up about the Armstead stuff on Twitter. I'm just scouring.
Yeah, so this is the Houston Gamblers jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm looking at it, I'm hearing Kenny Rogers in the background.
You gotta know when to hold them. Know when to fold them.
Yep. So, like I said, this isn't a bad jersey. You've got the black, the red, the gray. I like that. And then here's the Pittsburgh Maulers. Like,
ew.
Ugh. Yeah.
Kind of look like Clemson, but worse.
Yeah. This is just not a good jersey. Like, my dude, you couldn't have gotten a better color scheme than this. Come on now. And then here's the Tampa. Here's the Tampa Bay one, the Tampa Bay Bandits.
That just looks like Buccaneers.
Yeah, it really does. So I think if I were gonna rock some USFL jerseys, I'm rocking Houston. I'd be rocking Houston. That's gonna be my thing. I think. I don't know. I have to watch the product though, because I'm not. If I don't rock NFL jerseys, I damn sure ain't gonna rock.
Yeah,
a,
we'll wait for the
crappy team
product. I
jersey.
agree,
Yeah, I want to see
100%.
what the product has to do. Oh, I was supposed to zoom in. Apparently, I didn't zoom in properly. I'm sorry, Courtney. Here, hold on. Here, I'll do it again. I'll zoom in on a little bit more.
Oh man, I can't believe it. Tua's
If you're
trainer is
Tua,
hype.
if you're Tua, aren't you celebrating like mad? Like if
Bro,
I'm
I'm
Tua, I'm
celebrating
like
like mad right
yes.
now.
If I'm Tua, I'm like holy crap! I'm actually going to be able to live. I'm actually going to be able to play the game until I'm 30. Holy shit! I'm actually going to be able to like walk when I retire because I'm sorry, dude. Tua. Every time I saw him look to throw the ball, you want to talk about a guy that throws on the run? Dude, Tua seriously looks like he's in a zombie movie trying to escape like 28 days later zombies because the offensive line is just like, yeah, go hit him. We don't care. They're chasing him like he's Willie Beeman and he's just pissed off the whole offensive line. All right. That's about it. This last segment, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to say that we phoned in this last segment, but you know, we went through everything that I wanted to talk about in like the first segment.
Yeah, it happens. Hey, the Armstead stuff saved the end of the show.
I think so. I don't know. I think the Houston Gamblers jersey is pretty compelling. So. No, not really. But make sure you check out Vendetta Sports Media. Go to vendettasportsmedia.com where you can check out any and all of our content. We've got new articles being written on the daily. I may not agree with all the takes, but the takes are there for you to check out. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, media_vendetta. Check out the Tanndemonium Sports Show at Tanndemonium VSM. Check out what Jackson Law is doing. How's your Madden series going?
Oh, it's good. I'm like 5 episodes in. I only have like 1 episode out, but I just haven't had time to really edit the second episode. But here's the cool thing though. I have modded my Madden on my PC because I have it on PC. So whenever we get through the recorded episodes I have, you're going to get to see the modded version. It's pretty dope.
Nice,
pretty dope.
nice.
I'm not going to lie.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I don't really play on PC. I kind of wish I did though. Yeah, Jackson, why don't you use some of the interns? Start using interns. That's what we have them for.
Yeah, I forget we have interns. I'll have to get
Yeah,
them.
matter of fact, I purposefully told an intern to get in touch with you. So you
oh no, they did.
Work.
They did. They
Okay.
got me something back.
All right, good. Very good. I don't know. Maybe I'll start playing Out of the Park Baseball, the Art of the Park Baseball simulator on my computer. It was like, yeah, this is compelling stuff. Wow, great. The most boring sport in the world, and you're gonna play a simulator about it. Great. I don't know. I'm gonna start figuring out stuff that I can do, but it's like I said, my time just sucks right now. But make sure you follow Jackson Law on Twitter at JLaw1995. And with that being said, we'll check you guys out next week. Hopefully we have a lot more because, I mean, I really wish that we would have, I wish we were going live last week. I wish Deshaun Watson would have gotten traded on Tuesday. Oh,
it is a big commitment, bro.
Yeah, that is a huge commitment right there. Anyone else? Now, I pre-downloaded MLB The Show 22 because it's going to be on Game Pass again.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, like, it was just there holding space. Like, it had its little thumbnail space holder. And then it did, like, a 70 gig download. But it's still saying it's too early to play. I'm like, oh, I thought you were giving me early access. What the hell? So why are you taking up space on my hard drive? Like, what the hell is this? I really wish that I could do like, because some folks have actually started doing playthroughs of WWE 22, and it still feels like the same old game, but at least it's not glitchy as hell. So I'm not going to complain about that.
Hold on a second.
What are you finding now? What news is there now?
There's just something. There's something weird. Something weird going on. So this is from. It's Perform. This is Tua's trainer. He just threw this Treader on deck, Debo in the hole. That's all he said. JC Treader and Debo.
Debo Samuel?
Yeah. What does he know that we don't? What is Miami doing right now? What tomfoolery is going on with Chris Greer right now? And Mike McDaniel, what are they pulling in the background right now?
Wow. I don't know, dude. I'll tell you what. If they get JC,
and then it's just like someone that has connections to the Miami Dolphins. They have sources on the inside, and they've been right about a lot of these signings. He just posts a lot of the eyeball emojis, and then the emoji where it's the face, but it's like their lips are zipped.
Oh, jeez.
What is going? I may die tonight. There may this may not even require a TikTok video. This might be too much. We may, if this was to be pulled off, this may have to be an emergency press conference for the YouTube. If like that was to drop, because they got their guy.
I don't know. I mean, you still got more to do though. You still got more to do.
I'm baffled right now. What is happening? I'm so confused right now.
Well, you know what? I just saw some news in the gaming world. Apparently, Cyberpunk is still supposed to be getting some expansion stuff. Apparently, expansion is still in the works. So,
well, I'd hope so. That would bring me back in. Give me a major expansion with all the little updates that have come in. I do it. Also, Thursday, Halo series starts. I don't know how I feel about it though, because a lot of early reviews are in, and it just sounds like a generic sci-fi series, especially. And what doesn't help with me is the showrunner said that they did not pay any attention to the games. They didn't look at the games, and they didn't take the games into consideration when writing their show. And instantly, you want to talk about the biggest red flag that you could have. I could see that red flag from their studio in California from here where I'm at on the Mississippi.
You said, so the Halo show, let me see. I'm looking. Oh yeah. So that show starts. Oh, okay. The Amazon Halo show. Okay. That's this Thursday? It starts?
Yeah, it's Thursday. It surprised me because I saw someone talk about it and I was like, wait, that's Thursday?
Oh, okay.
The thing I've been waiting for my whole life is here, and you're going to tell me it's a massive disappointment?
All right. Well, I just put that on my list to watch, so we'll see what's what. We'll check that out and see what's going on with that. Oh, man. All right. With that being said, that's Jackson Law. I'm Bryan Tann. This has been the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We'll see you guys next week.